Okay, welcome to another episode where today we're going to work on Windows Deployment Services, or WDS. This might be a rather lengthy episode, so I might break it up into three sections. First section we'll just talk about what it does, and then second section we'll configure the actual server role. And the third one we will fire up a virtual machine simulating a bare metal, which means there's no operating system on it. And this is part of the WDS, the deployment strategies. So the first one I'll explain what it does. The first episode will be about what it does, why we need it, and the second episode will be configuring on a Windows 2016 machine, the role. And the third episode we'll actually go and install it on a simulated virtual machine. What I mean simulated, I'm saying that there's no operating system on it, and we're going to get it. We will be getting Windows 10 operating system, and we'll install it on the actual virtual machine where there's no operating system on it already. All right, so let's start with Windows Server 2016 here. So again, this is live. And I'm not editing. I might pause it now and then, but other than that, this is live and raw. Again, we learn from mistakes, and so here we go. So I've got already, I already have I've got Windows Active Directory. I have a DHCP server already as well on the same machine. I'm going to put WDS on this machine as well. In a lab environment, it's okay. But in a production environment, you would never want to do this. Unless you only have like 20 or 30 computers. If you don't have that many computers. But if you have a real production environment, you would definitely want to have this in its own server. All right, so we'll go to Manage, Add Roles and Features. Go to Next. Or Next again. Now there's my IP address. And then we're going to search for the actual role, which should be down here. Windows Deployment Server. We'll click on Add Features. Next. I don't think we have to add anything else. I'll just double check that. Just double check that really quickly. Okay, so it should be okay. I just double check that and it should be good. We'll go to Next. Yeah, this is where we make sure deployment service and transport server. These roles should definitely be here. Click on Next. And we'll install that. Shouldn't take too long, but I'll pause the video so just in case it does take a little bit of time. Okay, so that only took about a minute. Doesn't take long. I guess it wants us to shut down, but just press cancel. I think it. No, it should be okay. Should be successful. Okay, now what we'll do is we will have a look at it, the actual service. We'll go to Tools, and we'll have a look down to Windows Deployment Server. So this is a role, and this is an application. This is where the configuration is done. Got servers here. I've got my server there, and you'll see a little exclamation mark. It just says the server's not configured. We'll need to right-click the server and click Configure Server. And it's asking us to be a local administrator for this particular machine. That's interesting. Which I am in this scenario. That's just something interesting. So what we'll do is we'll right-click and we'll configure the server. Okay, we'll go to Next. I think we'll integrate this into Active Directory. It's probably the best practice. Click Next. We'll have to find a path where this will be. It's got remote install. I might go into this. Let's have a look at remote install. It's not there yet. You know what? I'm happy with that. We'll leave it as remote install. So this is the directory where our installation files will be held, will be kept. This is the image. So these are the Windows 10. This is the Windows 10 image. Okay. And it's saying choose on a partition that is large enough to hold the images that we want, and it must be an NTFS partition, so it's not going to work on other partitions. Click on Next. It's saying to us that we should have it on a separate volume, and we really should, but this is a lab environment. That's fine. And we'll just click on next for everything. There's a rule here. Now this rule, if you want to secure, it depends on your security settings. In my lab environment, I'm going to do it to respond to all client computers. So any client computer that I'm going to have in my virtual machine, when they run and they run a Pixie server, a Pixie, when it's asking Pixie service, they're all going to be able to get access to that. I can make other things, but let's just leave it simple for now. Go to next, and that will install now. Now so there it is. Now I've got a boot image and install image. So this is what I'm going to have to do. On the media up here, so this is my virtual machine, I'll need to take Windows Server 2016 out. Okay, and I need to eject it because that's when I booted and set this virtual machine up. I needed to boot it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to DVD and I'm going to insert a disk. I need Windows 10 Enterprise, so I need this as a disk. In a physical server, I would just put a DVD in there. This is what it's like, what I'm trying to do here. So I go there, and that will that should appear. There it is. So this is important because this contains the image here. Now, I'm in this demonstration. All I'm going to do is I'm going to use the image that Windows gives me. I'm not going to make a customized image, okay? Because that would mean that would mean that I'd need to set up other episodes on how to do custom images. We'd use things like sysprep and DISM or other tools. I'm only going to use Windows 10 default images, okay? It's still going to work for our demonstration, but this is just going to install, and I still have to be at the computer to the client. I'll still need to be there to click like a normal Windows 10 installation. There are other ways. There are many different ways, but we'll just stick to the basics for now. Now, in order for this to work, we're setting this up as a Pixie server pre-boot execution environment, Pixie pre-boot execution environment. So when my virtual machine runs for the very first time, and if it cannot find a DVD or an ISO, it's going to try and find a Pixie server so that it can download the necessary files to start installing Windows 10. This is the power of Windows Deployment Services, WDS, because instead of putting a DVD or a USB on every single machine and then going to each one, they will automatically download the installation files on each computer. Now in this scenario, I still would have to go to every computer to complete the installation. We can deploy images without even being there, it's called zero touch installation. Alright, so let's have a look now. So I've got so to make Pixie work, I need to have a DHCP server. And I do have one. Okay, so I've got one over here, which I set up in a previous lab. I do have it here on YouTube, if you need to have a look. So there's my scope there. So when computers doesn't have an operating system, it's going to ask for a DHCP server, and it will get one. And then it's going to look for a Windows image on the hard drive. It won't find one. And depending on how you set up your BIOS, depending on how you set the BIOS, it might boot. It'll probably boot next to a network location. Awesome. So we've got DNS on this server as well. We'll need DNS, and we'll need the actual media. So let's do that. Let's let's configure this. We'll go back to the Windows deployment images. So first thing is, let's specify an install image. So right click and we'll add an install image. I'm going to create a group. I'll just leave it defaults just for now. Should have something meaningful, but where is the file location? Where are the image files located? Well, it's located in the DVD drive that I've just installed. It should be in the boot folder somewhere. Just hang on a sec. My memory is, I think it's sources. There it is, boot.wim. So if we created a custom image, it will be a .wim file. So it's a Windows image. But that's the boot, that's the one where, sorry, we're looking for install first. We're going to do install first. See, it's 4.6 giga image. So we're going to do open that one. Next. And it will tell me that it's a Windows 10 and it's an enterprise evaluation. I got this from the evaluation site. Okay, again, we could make a custom image where we configure it the way that we want to. We can put programs on it. We can clear it of all computer names and all that kind of thing, but we're going to keep it simple in this one. Go to next and it will add the image. Now it's a big file, it's 4 gigs, so it might take a little bit of time, so we'll pause. So that didn't take long, maybe 2 minutes there. It's almost finished now. Once that's finished, the next step is we're going to set up a boot image. So this will boot the, once we download this install image, we need to boot to it, right? So we'll do finish. So let's right click and add boot image so that our Pixie client can boot this. Again, it's in the same location. It's in the sources folder. And we'll click on boot image. It's a bit smaller. It's like a 500. So we'll go to next. And again, it's Windows set up there. Easy. Nothing exciting there. And we'll click on next. It shouldn't take too long. It should be a very quick process. All right, we'll click on finish. And we're really very close. We're like more than halfway there. So we'll continue now. And that looks like it's really really quick. I might not even need to do a separate video. This is much quicker than I thought it would be. Seems to be a pretty simple process. You know what? Let's throw this out there. Let's have a shot. We'll go to, I've got a client here which is bare metal. Let's have a look if that's up and running. Hang on. I need to load it first. I need to fire it up. Won't be a second. Okay, so now what I've got here is I've got a virtual machine called bare metal client. I'll call it 3. So this is what should happen. Now there is, if I go to media, I did not install an ISO on this scenario. So there's nothing to boot. There's no media to boot from. Let's start it and see what happens. Fingers crossed. I'm just throwing this out there. I'm just experimenting here. So boot failure. Reboot and select proper device or insert boot media into selected boot device. Alright, I think there's another configuration that I might need to do in Hyper-V, which I might forgot. I'll be back in a second while I fix that. Okay, so what I did is I had an issue with my virtual machine, so I deleted it and I created a new virtual machine. And in the settings it asks you if you wanted to install Windows, you wanted to install installation from a USB or a CD. And there's an option that's to select from a network device. Once it's done, I might, if we've got some time, we'll show you that. But I'll just bring that up now. Okay, so that's what it's looking like now. So it's at the moment, it's asking for a DHCP address. Now I might not have corrected the Hyper-V networking properly. Let me quickly look into this. It shouldn't take this long. Should be quicker than this. It's searching for a DHCP, so it's trying to contact the DHCP server. Do you want to check if I've got the right virtual switch correct? I'm just going to do a quick discovery here. Just give me a second. I'll be back shortly. Okay, so if we go back to server, I forgot to actually start this the deployment, the WDS. So that's not going to help us if we don't have this already started. So we'll right-click as the server, and we'll go to all tasks, and we'll start this now. So we'll start the server. Okay, now it should work now. Yeah, it should be good. Right, let's go back to the other guy. We might need to restart that other virtual machine. We might have to restart this. So let's actually, here we go. No, it worked. Okay. Ooh, boot failure. All right. Let's restart. We'll shut that down. All right, let's try that again. We'll go through the Pixie again. Maybe I have to be quick. I think I have to be really fast and click F12 very quickly to go through this. Oops, wrong button. All right, let's press that F12 quickly. Gotta press it quick. No, not fast enough. All right, I think we just got to be really quick here. So I'll just restart this and we'll keep trying again. All right, that time I managed to get there on time. I just kept on banging the F12 button as quick as I could. So we're going there. So now I am now downloading an image from a WDS server down up to this bare metal machine. It'll download the boot image and the installation files as well. But please remember, now I've got to manually configure this Windows 10. So it's not zero touch, it's not even light touch. I've got to click that. And I'll do that now. We'll do that while we're here. But we can set it up in a way where we don't need to do this. Now there are technologies out there, but that technology needs its own 30 minutes to an hour video presentation. But you'll see Windows deployment settings. We've got all the same kind of options, but it looks a little different than a normal installation. So let's go to Australia. Next, I need a domain administrator configuration. So we'll do that. We'll do administrator, or maybe we have to do Harry. Hopefully that's okay. That's not correct. Okay, and if I had other boot images there, I'd have to select it there. I'd have an option to select it. Okay, so now we can continue on with the normal installation. Remember, there is no CD in the local machine. There's no USB. I'm downloading from the WDS server as I need those files. All the files have not all downloaded at the same time, but they will come down as I need them, as we unpackage. So let's put you on pause and go through this. But you can see how easy this is. This is ridiculously easy. I could have 200 computers that all log in and be able to use WDS services. Now, in a production environment, when we have lots, like thousands of servers, we would use Configuration Manager, or in the old days we used to call them SCCM. But these days it's just called Computer Management. Even nowadays they just call it Endpoint Manager now. That would be the best way to deploy Windows 10 servers, Windows 10 machines. But this is one way if you've got a small to medium enterprise. Anyway, I'm going to put this on pause, and we're going to see if this works out okay. So that's working really well, very smooth. It's as probably almost as fast as doing it through an ISO, interestingly enough, or even a DVD. Now it's going to go and try and do this again, but I'm not going to press F12 this time. So it's aborted the Pixie boot, and it should go into the normal installation. So now this is a good thing. So while we're waiting for the installation to continue, just a brief overview of what we need. So we need Windows 2016. We need a WDS role. We install, we set up the boot.wim file, which we get from the ISO. We install the install.wim. We make sure that we have DHCP and DNS. And then we get a virtual machine or a physical computer that can boot to a network drive through Pixie, and WDS serves as the Pixie server. So on my machine, I've got everything. I've got the Active Directory, and I've got DHCP, DNS. I've got the WDS on the same machine. Not ideal in the real world, but it works in a lab environment, and that's fine. So that we've got all the tools we need. But you'll see now that I still need to be present to click and configure. I need to change the computer name. I need to add. I need to change some other configuration, maybe the IP address. But I'll get the DHCP IP address. It'll be loaded. But if I wanted to make a custom image with programs already on it, with it updated with settings, I can clear the computer name. It's called sysprep. Sysprep rips off all the things that make it unique, so that it's everything that makes it common with other machines, and then it just leaves it empty and blank. So we can add that later on, but that's an episode for another time. But at the moment, I just want to make sure that Windows 10 will install correctly through Pixie. But this is still as is. Instead of putting a DVD in every single machine and a USB every machine, I don't even need to do that. This is already saving me time. Just by using the default images. It's already saving me heaps and heaps and heaps of time. So we're just going to stick around for a bit. I'm just going to pause. I just want to make sure this works. Be back shortly. So far so good. Let's just do some of the the normal configuration that we would do. Where's Australia? There we go. So this is pretty much very similar to what a normal installation is. Yep, we'll click yes. We will skip. Just going to fly through this. I'm going to get to the point where we actually sign in. I don't have internet on this machine. I didn't set up a router because I want to keep this. I want to keep this away from my network, my home network, because I've got a DHCP server on this machine, on this environment. So I'll sort that out another time. But that's it. So I'm happy. This is working fine. And yeah, thanks everyone for viewing. If you have any questions, you should be able to comment. I've released the comments, so comments can be allowed to be posted on these on YouTube now. So if anyone has any questions, message me, contact me any way you can. If there's anything else that you guys need to have a look at, if you have anything else that you want have done, please let me know and I can set it up. I might do something like a certificate of authority later on or something like that. But in the meantime, have a wonderful, awesome afternoon, evening, morning, weekend, weekday, whatever it is, or holiday. And yeah, thank you very much for viewing. We'll see you shortly. We'll see you soon. Thank you.